That's it, offline. Can I get it back? Oh my goodness.
Ride on, jewel, let your spirit be free with the wind at your back.
Hey, I told you I knew where I was.
Sing loud, jewel, let your heart be your guide in the depths of the thunder. It's your rant and your ride.
You need a button that big on a freaking camera to get it turned on. You put a little tiny button smaller than the size of your finger on an action camera and expect you to push that button and get the camera on. One of you camera companies got to listen up. You make the button that big around and soft push, raised, so you can feel it in a glove. Guys, get your crap together. That's why I say most of these people, they make action cameras, but they don't actually use them. Takes me, like, I missed all kinds of video yesterday because I was pushing the button, but the camera wasn't turning on. You know, and you got the camera mounted up here, so you got good view. And you can't see if the camera is turned on, so. But anyway, yeah, someday. You know, if I had money to make shit better, I'd make a fortune. Make an action cam with an action button. So anyway. We had an awesome double black diamond mountain bike ride at Mount Rose. It was pretty sick. Glass, yeah. Why would there be glass out here? You know, but it was a super fun ride. We got into snow, which I kept trying to videotape, you know, just a little bit interesting, but no, the camera didn't turn on for any of those instances. So I didn't get all the footage I wanted to. Which is good news for a lot of you, because the video would be short, because I wanted to videotape the backside of this trail we were riding, which was all the snow and down trees, and the camera wasn't on for any of that. So sometimes these cameras just piss me the frick off. They piss me off. That's my rant. And I didn't even plan on that rant, it just came out. So my friend with his ADV ride group, you know, they're out doing some oh yeah, you're geared up to do a bunch of crazy riding, and then you'll have a GoFundMe here pretty soon. So and so got injured because he wasn't wearing a helmet. We need a GoFundMe. I got a lot to rant about today. So my buddies, you know, they're out doing a nice ADV ride. And they invited me, and I considered it, but I wouldn't have been out on my ADV bike. Because if you're going to take your ADV bike out to do dirt riding and not ADV riding, what's the difference? I think there is a difference. But, you know, if I go out riding in the dirt, I take a dirt bike. That's why I bought dirt bikes. That's why I have 4 dirt bikes and 1 ADV bike. So I bought my ADV bike because, for one, you pack it up with a ton of gear. Camping gear, food. Come on, dude. I hate to see people, he's having fun, that's awesome. I hate to see people without riding gear, because I did that when I was younger. That's why I'm ranting about it now, because you get hurt. I didn't wear gear sometimes because I didn't have the money for it. Gear is expensive. You know, my first full coverage helmet, I had to buy a used one. Couldn't afford a new one. And then I wore that helmet for probably 15 years. A used helmet. Anyway. And when you can't buy a helmet when you're young, you end up having 20 helmets when you're older. I've got literally probably 15, 20 helmets. Yeah, a lot of them are brand new in the box. Anyway, adventure bike riding for me is not doing riding that I would ride my dirt bike on. Because I can't ride my adventure bike like a dirt bike. I ride it like an adventure bike. So anyway, I would have showed up on my dirt bike, because that's what we would have been doing, is doing a dirt ride. Not a camping trip, road, ADV adventure. What he's doing is valid, right? There's some people who don't have dirt bikes. They only have ADV bikes. They are not going to buy dirt bikes. Their ADV bike is their ADV bike and their dirt bike. So yeah, it's valid to train and ride those out in the dirt and learn how to be comfortable on them. All of that is valid, right? But I didn't buy my ADV bike to replace my dirt bikes. That was the point. Okay, so here's the skill, right, that I have to learn, okay, on a mountain bike, right? So the skill is, and it's hard to do, the hardest thing to do is when you're on steep trails and you come off your mountain bike. You know, these don't have forward, these do not have a throttle to give you forward momentum to get going again, which is too bad. I think even on mountain bikes they should give you a boost button for 2 miles an hour to get you moving to start pedaling. So you gotta practice this. I've got to practice this. Because we were on steep trails with rocks yesterday. And, you know, you hit a rock, your front end goes out, or the front end comes. Anyway, you lose traction, you get off the bike. And you got to get started again. You know, because it's all uphill. And that's really hard. You know, if you try to do this, you know, it just starts spinning, right? So something I picked up a little bit on yesterday. Pedal position is important. And instead of trying to take off, you know, and get momentum, it helps a bit to try and balance first with the brake, which is hard in itself, right? But try and balance, get your feet on the pedal, and then start pedaling, right? So I didn't have all of that concept before, and I got a lot of it yesterday, you know, because I was just trying to, you know, take off with the pedal, right? Which spins the back tire to begin with. Like that, the back tire spins immediately. So a good practice is to try to balance momentarily while you get your feet on the pedals and release the brake. So practicing balancing is the first point. And the second point is holding the brake. I would say the rear brake, so you don't spin the rear wheel. Alrighty, so something that I learned better yesterday. You know, and I gotta practice it to be proficient at it. You know, but have that back brake on. Get your feet on the pedals, balanced, and then take off without spinning the rear wheel. So stuff I have to practice. But you know, I struggled with that, and then yesterday it clicked in, the concept. Hey man, hold the rear brake, get your feet on the pedal, get that balancing point, and then take off. Because if you're just trying to take off from a pedaling standpoint, you don't have your rear wheel weighted correctly. And a lot of times you're just spinning the rear wheel trying to get enough forward momentum to get your feet on the pedals, and you've already gone half a pedal stroke. So that's my tip for somebody who didn't realize, like me. I know most legit mountain bikers don't have that problem. I'm sure it's the same process, right? For a non-assisted mountain bike, you would need to balance yourself on the pedals to get forward momentum again. So anyway, this is pretty gnarly. And of course, practicing not getting crank strikes, which is hard. You get them all the time, but trying to get less. There's a little bit of run up when you let off your pedals, but not much, you know. When the hill's steep, it'll scrub off fast. Gee, I don't know. This is weekend riding, right? Weekend warriors. That's a cool unit right there, but costs the same price as a Jeep, right? Just buy a Jeep. That one's fully enclosed like a Jeep. Buy a Jeep. Okay, so anyway, you know, this is steep and rocky, and you get the UTVs coming through here all week long, so it churns it up even more. So I'm gonna turn this video off. You can't really tell the steep parts. Video flattens everything out. So anyway, I'm just using up my battery. Next weekend will be a El Dorado trip with Aaron on the China dual wheel bike. So it'll be Aaron's first time on a China dual wheel throttle assisted China bike in El Dorado Canyon. Hallelujah. Okay, so I don't know. I was contemplating this road to the left. It's not well traveled. There could be stickers in it. Old mining road. It probably just goes up to that, a mine. So we'll ride it a little bit and see what it looks like. Hopefully I don't run over the cactus or goat heads. I've got some tire milk. I got tire milk in my tire, so, but I didn't bring my flat repair stuff. Looks like it gets steep ahead. Yeah. See, this is what I think is crap. See, that's the issue right there, is you got to keep forward momentum. Okay, forward momentum and balanced. Of course, if it was a smooth road, it'd be easier. Now, this is what I'm totally was talking about earlier. So I don't even know. Let's see if it's a good practice. Let's see if I can get moving forward again in all these rocks. Right, so balance. Get my feet up on the pedals and then release. See, that's what's crazy about these E-assisted mountain bikes, is if you can keep your balance and traction going forward, you know, you can climb steep stuff. It's crazy. It's crazy cool. It's crazy cool, man. Let's see if I got stickers going on. Yeah. Not really. Okay. Yeah, that probably ends right there. I don't know, or goes over there. Up there, maybe. Pretty crazy though. So anyway, I'm not much of a electric vehicle person. just because it takes a long time to charge them and you can't go that far. For mountain bikes, I think it's totally rad. For cars, no way, dude. I mean, if you're just driving to work 15, 30 miles away, okay. Electric motorcycles, if you're a motocross racer, okay. See, I'm probably gonna stop right up here because it's getting crazy rocky, right? This bike would do it if you could keep your balance. You can't see how steep that is, but if you could keep your balance and manipulate those rocks, this bike will go up that, which I think is totally awesome. I tried my rear shock on stiffer for going uphill, and I'm not sure if it helps on an E-assisted bike, because I noticed the rear wheel slipping a little bit. Slipping a little bit. So right when you're locked out on the back, it would make the back more rigid, which would cause the wheel to spin more, lose traction. So I'm not sure if making it firmer on uphills is actually better. I'll have to test that out some other time. I think probably riding over rocks, it's better to leave it soft so it can compress over rocks and you won't spin. That's my thought process at the moment. Alrighty, we'll talk to you soon. Alright, another little ride that I've done before. I haven't been up here for a while. So, see how I do today. Because, yeah, glass. Because, you know, it could be tore up from the UTVers. And it looks a little more rugged. But I did it. Nice. Just gotta pick good lines and keep your balance. You gotta distribute that weight enough over the back to give you traction enough over the front to keep the wheel on the ground. But it's definitely more tore up than when I rode it last year, for sure. This is gonna be rugged. Come on, Jim. That's it, offline. Can I get it back? Oh my goodness. Come on, bro. Come on, dude. I think I got it. Huffing and puffing. Wow. Woo! Yeah. Getting exercise on a E-assisted mountain bike. You can. I need to get back to riding every day out here. I was doing that last summer every morning. Get prepared for your through the desert motorcycle rides. And all around general staying in shape. Yeah, so there's gonna be one more rocky uphill. One more rocker uphill. It shouldn't be as bad as those two, I hope. Let's see here. And then again, who knows? They are tore up more than last year, though. Oh yeah. Jeez. Come on, baby. Crap. Shoot. Come on, Jim. Oh. Oh. I did it. And I think I only had one crank strike, so I'm getting better at that also. Wow. It's fun though. For me, you know, it's funner than riding this on my gas or my Husky. For one, I'm exercising more. And I can pick up the bike, right? I could carry it over stuff. I can walk it over stuff. Had to stop to turn on the camera. Couldn't get it going while I was moving. So anyway, Here we are, truck route. I've only got 2 battery bars left, which, yeah, I could probably ride into Virginia City, but I don't know. You know, I didn't charge the bike, and so definitely use up the battery to ride up there and back home. But winds are blowing. You could probably hear that. You can ride down the whole truck route, and then when it comes to your turn, there'll be a car or a line of cars behind you. It's like, of course, I should play the lottery.